Lily said, "It's my turn for the action on the camera." You can't even see her. She blends in with my dress. In this video, we are going to be talking about why it is important to know the lunar phase that you were born under, how it might reveal your emotions and interactions with others. Welcome back to Matriarch Astrology, and if you are new here, welcome. Now, the moon represents our subconscious desires, our instincts, and our emotions, while the sun represents our will and our conscious desires. Now, knowing the lunar phase that you were born under can really help you in understanding what you need emotionally and what you need in order to feel fulfilled. Also, by following the characteristics of your lunar phase, you may find more balance and harmony in your life. We're first going to start off with the new moon lunar phase. Now, this phase is associated with the Yule season, and this correlates to the pagan wheel of the year. Now, Yule is a winter solstice celebration that marks the rebirth of the sun and the end of the year. So people born during a new moon are said to embody the energy of new beginnings and transformations, much like the rebirth of the sun during the Yule season. They are also said to have a connection to the earth and cycles of nature, making them practically attuned to the changing seasons and the rhythms of the natural world. People born during a new moon are naturally intuitive and have that sense of connection to their higher self, whether conscious or unconscious. These people are usually very empathic and are able to understand the emotions of others as well as their intentions. These people may be naturally motivated to learn more about themselves and improve as individuals. Here we can see a tendency to be more quiet and introspective, and we can see an interest here in spiritual topics like astrology or psychic work, mediumship work, paranormal type of work, anything to do with the occult. And many of these individuals will want to create their own path and work hard to achieve their goals. However, as sensitive as these individuals are, they may have a tendency to feel overloaded or just very sensitive to negative energy and be easily overburdened by too much energy, too much social interactions, and they may want to retreat and find a lot of comfort in other more quiet, introspective pursuits or hobbies. So taking out time to do these things is going to be very important and a very vital part of self-care. And finally, these people may want a simple life and may look for places and things that make them feel calm, a sense of serenity. An environment that emulates that or has that is going to be sought after by these people. And that's because it will be a lot easier for them to deal with their emotions and deal with their energies in these type of environments when they're able to go away and recharge themselves in these calm spaces. They will also value meaningful relationships over shallow or materialistic ones and prefer simplicity. So here we're going to see somebody who wants to find balance and harmony, peace of mind and fulfillment in all aspects of life. Now, of course, it is going to depend a lot on aspects and other planetary placements. So this is just a very general description of a new moon lunar phase person. It will be even stronger if the person has a night chart, which would mean that in your birth chart, you can see here, I can put an image of it where you can see the wheel, and on the bottom of that horizon line, you'll see the sun. If the sun is on the bottom, then that means that you have a night chart. And if it's on the top, that means that you have a day chart. So if you are a night chart and you have a new moon, this is going to be something that's going to stand out even more when it comes to your personality and your inner world. Now, in a lot of my videos, I usually like to give a quick what you can work on or how you can navigate it, especially if you're working with harder aspects or planetary placements. So here are just a few things to keep in mind if you have a new moon lunar phase. So building self-confidence and assertiveness is going to be very important. Making sure that you're setting really strong boundaries, as well as taking the opportunities when they do come to you. Make sure that you're willing to take some risks. That is, of course, smart and calculated. And just taking opportunities to grow as a person is going to be something you can lean towards. And also be open to trying different hobbies or different creative pursuits in order to find something that really sticks with you. And make sure that you're incorporating something for self-discipline, however you want to go about that, as well as setting smaller, simple objectives so that you don't feel overwhelmed by a really large task or goal. And I did mention boundaries, but the reason I mentioned that is because it is part of your own mental health and prioritizing yourself above others, especially when people are trying to take advantage or ask too much. That's when you really want to put on these really strong boundaries for your own self-care. Also, we want to make sure that you are aware of your own needs and make sure that you are openly communicating that to others. Next up, we have the waxing crescent lunar phase. Now, the waxing crescent is associated with the season of Imbolc. Imbolc is a Celtic festival that celebrates the first signs of spring and is associated with new beginnings, growth, and purification. So as we've all seen in spring, where the little buds start coming out in the trees, you can kind of get a hint that winter is ending and we're starting to get to warmer temperatures slowly and surely. And this is the time between the new moon and the first quarter moon phase. So we're starting to get a little bit of light here. It's not 100% dark and we have some slither of light. And that brings forth a sense and energy of momentum and forward growth. As I said, the moon is growing each night and gaining more and more light as the days go by. So people born during this moon phase are said to be creative, intuitive, and driven, with a natural ability to manifest their desires and goals, with, of course, a lot of effort and some obstacles and challenges that may come, but this person is willing to face those challenges head on. Now, these people are also very curious and alert and are very interested in learning and developing themselves. However, we want to be careful here for a tendency to overanalyze or criticize themselves and others. So balancing their curiosity with empathy and compassion could really strengthen their relationships. So their need for growth may cause restlessness, impatience. So learning to be more flexible and patient is going to be a must. So as all lunar phases, we do have instinct and intuition here, and these people may naturally use their inner wisdom to overcome life's obstacles. However, we want to be sure here to combine wisdom and instincts and practicality all in one. And I feel this is with every moon sign. Every person can benefit from a therapist, counselor that can really help them and navigate life's natural challenges. So here are some things that the people with a waxing crescent lunar phase can work on. Developing discipline and focus. That is going to be very important for you to make the most of your energy and resources. Incorporating or learning good time management skills is going to be beneficial, and it's going to help you grow personally and professionally. And another thing is to have confidence and trust in your own talents. And the reason we want to work on confidence and trust in your own talents is because there can be a tendency here to have a fear of being judged or rejected. And learning how to manage stress or anxiety is going to be important. So similar to the new moon phase, you want to maybe break down a goal that you have or a really large task that you have into small steps. This can really aid in feeling less stressed while also helping you to make better decisions as well. Because when you're not overwhelmed, you tend to think a lot more clearly. Next up, we have the first quarter lunar phase. Now, this lunar phase is associated with the spring equinox Ostara. Now, Ostara is a festival held during the spring equinox, and this represents a time of renewal and growth, a time to shed the old and embrace the new, to set intentions and to manifest desires. So here we see a lot more flowers popping up. We're starting to get a lot more sunlight. The moon has a lot more light now, growing. It's a lot more energetic. Now, people born during this lunar phase are often driven by their emotions and can act on instincts rather than careful consideration. There's an energy here of impulsiveness and impatience. They also possess a strong sense of spontaneity, and they thrive in fast-paced environments. Now, these people can be very competitive as well as really motivated. They really want to succeed and achieve their goals. And they can be seen as very risk-taking and ambitious and able to thrive in situations of high stress. Here we see people that are driven by a strong sense of determination, and they can naturally want to take risks, and they're just very naturally proactive. So just a lot more lively, as we can see, but we also have to be careful for a tendency to get maybe angry really quickly, because that coincides with the impulsiveness or the impatience. So patience is something we're going to want to work on with this lunar phase, learning how to take a step back and slow down before making any decisions. And we also want to cultivate some empathy and patience when communicating with others can really help in your relationships and overall communications with other people. And time management is also going to be something good to incorporate. This could be because balancing projects and ideas can be overwhelming. So learning how to prioritize your time and managing your time is going to be of great benefit. And using apps like GoodNotes as a calendar or even Notion is something that I would suggest, especially if you are in college or even if you just work, and having a planner like on GoodNotes Planner, that's something that can really help keep you organized. Okay, next up we have the waxing gibbous lunar phase. Now this lunar phase is associated with Beltane, a Galaic May Day festival. I hope I said that right, which is traditionally associated with fertility and new beginnings. Now this is between the first quarter lunar phase and the full moon, so we're almost at the full moon, yet we're not quite there yet, but we have a lot of energy and a lot of more light. So Beltane and the waxing gibbous are said to share the same characteristics of growth and expansion, which, as you've noticed, it's all been about growth from the crescent all the way to the full moon. The moon is waxing, which means it's growing in light. It's all about growth and expansion and how much support we have by the sun, vitality and energy. Now these people are seen as constantly evolving and moving towards their goals with a strong sense of purpose and determination. Now people born during this lunar phase can really pay close attention to details. They can be analytical and easily identify patterns or any type of contradictions. They can be seen as very meticulous and trustworthy, which really helps them at problem solving and anything that requires critical thinking, whether it be at work or in their own personal lives. And they can really appreciate or be naturally drawn to researching, and they may naturally want to seek out information just to understand something more comprehensively. Now these people can also be seen as high achievers and perfectionists, and when it comes to their work or when they want to do something, they want to make sure that they're giving their best, they're giving their all. They don't want to half-ass things. Now we want to be careful here because there can be a tendency to overthink or worry excessively because they are trying to strive for perfection, yet we all know that that's something that is not always attainable, and it's okay that that's not attainable. So that's something to really make sure that we're working on understanding and being okay with things not being perfect. However, they're still going to have a persistence and a resilience to them, so we really want to emphasize that and be okay with any shortcomings if that does occur. But being so persistent is really going to help them overcome any type of obstacles or challenges. Now people with this placement could also experience self-doubt and insecurities regarding their abilities, so it's going to be really important to trust your intuition, trust your knowledge, trust that you do know enough, because this can be a person that feels like they don't know enough, so they're always continuously taking courses on maybe the same topic or going to different type of seminars and feeling like they still haven't fully grasped it, yet they have, but they feel like they haven't. So these people are really going to want to have faith in their own abilities, share your knowledge, share what you know, and just share your ideas confidently and motivate others around you, because this is a very naturally motivating energy. And recognizing their own unique talents and skills is going to be a crucial key to overcoming self-doubt and achieving success, because they can make a significant impact on others' growth and development by sharing their knowledge and their skills. Now do this when you feel confident and capable. know when to share your knowledge. Now, I'm not saying go out there and just share everything when you're in the middle of learning something. I'm saying when you fully have grasped it, you've taken enough courses, you don't probably need another course, and it's okay to go on ahead and start sharing what you know. And finally, just make sure that you are taking out time for your own hobby and interest. Balance is always important with every lunar phase. Practicing mindfulness is always going to be important as well, if that's something that you're open to do or something that cultivates a sense of mindfulness, like art. This is really going to help balance out your emotions and avoid stress. Next up, we have the full moon lunar phase. Now, the full moon lunar phase is associated with Litha, also known as the summer solstice. And Litha is a pagan holiday that celebrates the longest day of the year, and it is believed that those born during the full moon lunar phase have a really strong connection to Litha and this energy of the sun, because the moon is full, it's receiving all of the light from the sun, reflecting that back. Here we can see a heightened sense of intuition and creativity. Now, these people can have really strong instincts and emotions. Now, these people are believed to be very magnetic, and this makes them more likely to try new things and be very creative. Here we can see really strong creative and artistic skills, and they can be known for sharing how they feel through creative outlets like art, painting, drawing, writing, and acting. And these people can be more inclined to have more spiritual perceptions, being more inclined to things like this astrology or psychic work, being more easily connected to the other world. These people can be seen as rash or spontaneous, and they can be very connected to their inner world and their emotions, which can really help them understand and care for the emotions of others, or help care for others in a type of way, whether it's emotionally or just supporting them and encouraging them with words. However, because they are so sensitive to emotions, they may be more prone to mood swings or making hasty decisions, because they may have a tendency to act on their emotions without giving them much thought. People may seek the approval and support from other people, which can be a driving force for them to do well in areas where they can show off their skills and get that praise that they are desiring. But it is going to be important to find a really good balance between wanting attention and taking care of their mental health, because too much validation seeking can make them feel insecure or reliant on other people's opinions or point of view. So what people born during a full moon lunar phase want to work on would be to learn how to take control of their emotions. This is because they do have really strong feelings, and this can really conflict and cause disagreements and issues, and they'll be able to get through life more easily if they're able to learn to control their emotions or their impulses. And there's many different practices that they could use, like mindfulness, meditation, there's yoga, there's different forms of therapies. There's so much variety out there. Anything that's just really mind-body connection type activities is going to be really beneficial. Also, we want to make sure that we are finding a good balance between our personal life and our professional life, because they can be very driven to succeed and do well in their professions, that they may end up leaning more towards one side and putting too much energy and emphasis on their career or their work or their goals, and not so much on the other end, or vice versa. Just make sure that you are using your time well and knowing when to work and when to rest. And lastly, we want to make sure that we are not doing everything on our own. You don't want to feel like you always have to do everything by yourself, even though you feel like you might do it better by yourself. You want to really put an emphasis on working on collaborating with others, building really strong connection with others, and knowing how to build a really good support system. Doing this can really help you fulfill your goals with greater ease. And I just wanted to show real quick, I do have this. I didn't think of showing it because it is for children, but you guys can see it real quick. It has the lunar phases as well as the the wheel of the year. So I'm going to bring that in really close so you guys can see it. Yeah, there we go. And then just thought I'd show that real quick. I thought it's really cute. We are on Lunasa and we are at the disseminating lunar phase. Sorry, that was just me nerding out there for a second. So Lammas is celebrated on August 1st, and that marks the beginning of the harvest season. So everything has come to full bloom, and now it's time to gather and share. So that's where we see our correlation between Lunasa and the disseminating lunar phase, because there is an association here with the sharing of ideas, the sharing of knowledge with others. So these people can naturally be very communicative. They may like talking to others and expressing their experiences, their opinions. They're able to easily articulate their thoughts. Again, aspects and planetary placements will come into effect here. So this is very general. We're not incorporating other indications or aspects to the moon. But in general, they're able to easily articulate their thoughts and ideas, and they can excel in teaching, writing, or public speaking. These people can be naturally very empathetic and really great listeners, which really contributes to them being really good friends. These people can be very social or just like to have friends, like making new friends, and it could be a big group of friends or just a really small knit group, so they can easily fit in with different social groups. They may also prefer working in groups. They could really like working together to achieve a goal, making them really good natural team players. They can be naturally creative, and expressing that is going to come in different shapes, types of hobbies. So making sure that you're able to express your creativity in whatever way you feel most comfortable is going to be important, so that we're able to channel that energy outwardly, so that it's not like pent up and kept inside. That could be through many different avenues. I always suggest art. I love art so much. Either art, pottery, designing, whatever it is that you're attracted to. These people can have also a natural giving energy, wanting to give and aid others, assist others, and whether it be listening and just listening to a person vent, or physically helping another person, even donating. And their kindness and generosity can make them a lot more likable to others. They can be very open to new ideas and have a wide overall outlook on life, and they can make really great travelers, wanting to experience different cultures and how people do things. Very open. And this openness can make them better at adjusting to change, and maybe even find out for themselves how resilient they are. Now, one thing we want to work on with this lunar phase is making sure that you are sharing your knowledge if you already are not. This will depend on age and how old you are, how much knowledge you have accumulated. But in general, these people are more inclined to teach and coach others. This can bring a sense of fulfillment and joy for the individuals with this lunar phase. I feel like these topics to learn on is if we have hard aspects to the moon, some restricting energy to the moon, or even in some cases the placement. So in that case, you might want to embrace change and be willing to let go of old habits and be open to experiencing new places or gaining a different perspective from another person. Make sure that you're also developing your intuition if you're not already doing so. This is really going to help with this energy, and you want to be able to practice activities or hobbies that are more contemplative, like journaling, or even just exploring different spiritual or philosophical beliefs. This can help provide new insights. Okay, next up we have the third quarter lunar phase, and we're going to be heading on over here to Mabon, or the fall equinox. I know you guys can't even see that, but I did put it in the beginning of the video, and I got this off of Etsy. So cute. So the correlation between Mabon and the third quarter lunar phase lies within their shared themes of reflection, gratitude, and self-awareness. Both Mabon and the third quarter lunar phase offer opportunities for introspection and contemplation. So these people can be seen as very independent and self-sufficient, and they can be very good problem solvers. They are critical thinkers and analytical, and they're able to process information rationally, and they can be able to see patterns or connections that others may overlook. Now, they're also very persistent, and they do have a strong drive that allows them to overcome obstacles and excel in their chosen fields. Now, as great as critical thinking is, we want to make sure that we're not overly critical on ourselves or even others, because there can be a tendency to easily sway that way, where we're too harsh or critical of not only ourselves, but then others. And they can act this way because they have really high expectations and want to succeed. So they see their own self-criticism as a form of motivation for themselves, but they must learn how to balance that with empathy and compassion. So learning to be more sensitive can really improve their own inner state of being, as well as even their relationship with others. So these people may struggle with openness and emotions depending on the sign, placement, and aspects, but there could be some issues here with expressing their emotions, expressing themselves, and they may find it difficult to connect with others and ask for that help and support. So that's something that we want to learn and incorporate, because letting the guard down and opening up may lead to stronger emotional relationships as well as personal happiness. So we might want to gain help or assistance from trusted friends, and even seeking therapy is going to be highly beneficial in order to navigate your emotions and be able to express them and feel them in a healthy way. So these people might naturally want to keep to themselves, and they may really appreciate solitude, and they may really enjoy introspective, quiet type of things like writing, reading, or just being alone in nature. However, we do want to find a very healthy balance between spending time alone and spending time with others and socializing in order to avoid isolation to an extreme. And even if they may not actively seek out interactions with others, introverted hobbies may help them grow and feel fulfilled. Just make sure that we are having that balance. So that doesn't mean that you can't be alone and can't enjoy your time in solitude. Just make sure that you're finding a healthy balance. And when you are in solitude or when you are alone, make sure that you're incorporating some type of introverted type of hobby or activity, like painting or baking on your own, working with clay. There's a wide variety. So it is going to be very important for people with this lunar phase to spend time in a natural environment, whether it's the beach, the woods, somewhere, of course, safe. Just being out in nature is going to be very beneficial for people with this placement. Peaceful environments overall as well. So it doesn't always have to be nature. That can be one peaceful environment, especially if you feel like there's less commotion going on, or just being in calm, peaceful environments within your home or a space where you feel is calm and serene. This can bring a sense of peace and tranquility within. Also, make sure that you are practicing self-care, prioritizing yourself, having really strong boundaries, incorporating any type of mind-body connection activities like a yoga or meditation. If you like a more active yoga, you could do something more like hatha. If you would like more of a slow form of yoga, more relaxed, you can go for yin yoga or whatever you want to do. That's just an example. These activities can help them feel a lot more grounded and balanced, which can make it easier for them to deal with any sudden challenges or changing circumstances in their lives. Make sure that you have also a commitment to self-improvement, and make sure you are continuously learning and developing yourselves. Sorry that I'm going from your and them. That's something that I have to work on. Sometimes I catch myself, sometimes I don't. Similar to some of the other moon signs, when you're setting a goal, make sure that you are setting clear objectives, and you can also break them down into smaller tasks so that they're more manageable, easier to digest in a way. Also, you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people, people that encourage you, that inspire you, that make you feel good when you are around them, and people that are encouraging or supporting your own personal growth. And lastly, make sure that you are acknowledging your progress and celebrating your successes, even if it's a small win. Celebrate that, acknowledge it, can really go a long way to helping you feel good and feel like you are achieving things. And that's not to say that you're not, but sometimes we tend to just look at a big, massive goal and can get down on ourselves when we haven't achieved that. So even if you have a small win, make sure that you are giving yourself the acknowledgement and looking at the things that you have achieved, and put a real good spotlight on that and celebrate it. This is really going to help you stay present in the moment rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Okay, last we have the Balsamic lunar phase associated with Samhain. It's hard to say that with my little cute little board for children, but we can use it in this case here. So the balsamic lunar phase, as I have mentioned already, is associated with Samhain. Now, Samhain is a Galaic festival, and again, I hope I said that right, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. And it is associated with the thinning of the veil between the living and the dead. So those born during a balsamic lunar phase are also said to have a strong connection to the spiritual realm, or an ability to access the spiritual realm easier. Again, a lot of aspects will depend here, and planetary placements that can either make it a little bit more difficult or enhance this possibility. So they may possess deep intuition and potential psychic abilities. Both the balsamic lunar phase and Samhain represent a time of reflection, letting go, as well as transformation. It is a time to release what no longer serves us and embrace the new beginnings. Those that are born during this lunar phase are often drawn to creative activities, creative hobbies, and they have a deep desire to help others. Now, these people may always want to seek ways to improve themselves because they are very self-reflective, and this gears them towards wanting to be lifelong learners, whether it's in a profession or if it's for personal self-improvement. These people can be very sensitive, very emotional, and they're very mindful of not only their own emotions, but the emotions of others, making them sensitive to the needs of others and allowing them to be active and really good listeners and great friends. Now, these people can easily see through any type of facades, and they're able to understand the true intentions of other people very easily. And this can be due to their ability to read body language, pick up on subtle cues, and just notice small details that others may miss. They can find beauty in art, nature, and just normal things that other people may overlook. And this is due to their level of awareness of their surroundings and their environment. And they can also be into writing, photography, sketching, things that really involve a lot of attention to detail. They can also be seen as quite unique, odd, mysterious, and because of this, they tend to intrigue other people. Others may be attracted to them because of their sense of wonder. It reminds me of that song by Jhené Aiko, Wanderer. I think that's the name of the song. Now, they can be secretive, so others may have a hard time trying to figure out what they're thinking, what they're feeling sometimes, depending on aspects, which could lead to potential conflicts within a relationship or even friendships. So here are some things that people with the balsamic lunar phase may need to work on, especially if we're dealing with a harder aspect or other planetary placements that makes it a little bit more restrictive in a sense. So we want to be able to increase our spiritual awareness as well as our intuition. This could be by exploring meditation, mindfulness, occult subjects, even talking to a psychic, just being a little bit more open to that realm if you aren't already. Or you can just connect with nature more by doing more hiking or gardening. This can really help you connect with the soil, connect with the elements, and to Mother Nature's natural rhythms. You will also want to make sure that you are trusting your own instincts despite any type of uncertainties or confusion that you may have. And if you need help, talking with a trusted friend or therapist can be something that also helps you when doing this. Also, people would do well by following their artistic passions. This is because the value of self-expression is highlighted with this lunar phase. And those that are born under this lunar phase tend to flourish more when they follow their artistic interests. They can find happiness and contentment via artistic avenues like painting, writing, cooking, crocheting, anything like that that is a form of creative expression. And if you're having a hard time expressing yourself, you can try an avenue like music or dancing to be able to express your emotions. Channel that energy through those creative activities. This could be a great way to relieve stress and to be able to work through any type of difficult emotions that may come up. Well, there you guys have it. Those are all the lunar phases. And if you would like to have a more in-depth analysis of your lunar phase with your own chart, then I would suggest getting a natal chart reading either from myself or another astrologer, because these videos are very general and they don't go in depth with aspects and planetary placements, as I cannot see each person's specific chart. So this is a very general interpretation. If you guys enjoyed this video, go on ahead and comment your lunar phase down below. Like the video if you liked it and share, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.